Avoidants are known for their emotional distance and their unpredictable behavior. One minute they seem like they love you, and now they haven't texted you in 3 days. And I know their actions seem random, but they do follow clear patterns. And once you understand them, you can begin to relax and see things as they really are. Now, over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the ultimate cheat sheet for avoidant behavior, backed by research and grounded in real psychology. So you'll have a clear understanding of what's happening, and you'll no longer be losing sleep over their mixed signals. Now, if you learn and use the information I'm about to show you in this video, then you'll know exactly why they pulled away when things got real, what their actions really mean when they do that, and most importantly, how you can start to feel like yourself again, even if part of you is hoping they'll come back. But right now, to understand what follows, we need to see the big picture. So let's start by creating an emotional blueprint for avoidant behavior. And we can do this because avoidants follow predictable patterns. So once you've learned and can recognize these 4 patterns I'm about to show you, then it naturally becomes much easier for you to stop overthinking and just focus on what's really important. Now, the first pattern is withdrawal and detachment. And here's how it looks to you. In the beginning, you feel close to this person, connected, even hopeful. Every day you talk, you laugh, you share these significant moments together. But then, one day, out of nowhere, they just shut down. And as a result, you're left in shock. One moment they were fine, the next they were cold and distant. And it feels as if maybe they never really cared at all. Now, what's really happening is this: withdrawal and detachment. When avoidants get too close, when emotions get too strong, they withdraw and detach. So the general rule that applies here when you want to spot withdrawal and detachment is this: it feels like the emotional connection between you and the avoidant just vanished. They're not necessarily angry, they've just gone quiet, emotionally flat. There's no warmth, no closeness, and barely, if any, contact at all. At the heart of it, they've turned the volume all the way down on their emotions. Now, the second pattern you're going to look for is minimal contact. And it starts out like this. Long before things fell apart, you messaged every day. You talked every morning and every night. Over and over again, they made you feel wanted, safe, and secure with them. Until one day, they stop. And slowly or all at once, you begin to realize, I'm the only one making any effort. You might notice their replies slow down or stop completely. They're never first to reach out. There's no more good morning text when you wake up or good night text before bed. You don't see them, you don't hear from them. There are no phone calls until one day they randomly reappear with a casual message like nothing ever happened. And you start talking again. It feels like you're getting closer. But then out of nowhere, they disappear once more. And as a result, you keep checking your phone, looking for answers, wondering why did they ghost me, pop back into my life like nothing happened, and then disappear again. And that pattern keeps repeating over and over again, waiting, second guessing, never knowing when you'll hear from them, until finally, you can't tell if they're avoiding you or just going through something, or if you've been chasing someone who has already moved on. Now, here's the principle I want you to keep in mind for minimal contact. It means you're doing the reaching out, the checking in, the emotional heavy lifting, while they're offering just enough to keep you hooked, but not enough that you feel secure with them. Think of it like this. Minimal contact is when they haven't fully disappeared, but you're the only one fighting for what really matters. Now, pattern number 3 for this cheat sheet blueprint is avoiding emotional talks. And it always starts the same way. You begin to think, maybe they're scared, maybe they just need to know how much I care, and if I just open up more and share how I feel, then it will make them feel safe enough to stay. And that pattern just keeps going on and on. You tried to be honest about how you feel. You poured your heart out. You stayed calm. You explained everything, hoping they'd finally understand just how you feel. Until one day they said to you, I just need space. This is too much. You're too needy. You're too emotional. And because of that, you started questioning yourself. You wondered if you were too much. You started walking on eggshells around them until suddenly nothing felt certain anymore. You didn't know what to say. You were overthinking everything, just hoping not to upset them while you tried to be exactly what they needed, hoping it would make them stay. Now, what this pattern comes down to is this. Every time you try to talk about how you feel or where things are going, they shut down, deflect, or act like you're starting a fight, which means you end up tiptoeing around them just to keep the peace. This is the pattern of avoiding emotional talks. To put it another way, it's when you can't even bring up your feelings without them shutting down or making you feel like you're causing drama. The fourth pattern you'll see from our blueprint is a lack of emotional expression. Back before it all got complicated, they showed it in little ways. They texted you all the time. They made you feel like they were all in. You weren't guessing back then. It felt real, like this is the one for you. But once things got deeper, something unexpected happened. You'd say, I miss you, and they'd say nothing. You'd try to open up, and they'd go quiet. You'd go in for a hug, and they'd pull away, to the point where you felt needy for even wanting to be touched. Now, more and more, it was like you never really knew how they felt. But that's just how it was. You kept showing up, telling them how you feel, trying to make it work, and they just kept shutting down like none of it mattered. And as a result, you started telling yourself, maybe they're just not good at expressing things. Maybe they never felt this way before. Maybe they just need time to trust that I'll always be here. So you kept showing up, saying how you felt, reassuring them, trying to connect with someone who never really let you in. Until finally, you just ask, do you even care about me? Why can't you just say how you feel? And they tell you, you already know how I feel. I'm just not good at talking about this stuff. I'm not good at relationships, or even worse, they say nothing at all. Just silence. They look away, they change the subject, they go quiet, or disappear completely. And that's the fourth pattern, lack of emotional expression. It's when you're constantly guessing how they feel about you because they rarely say it. They don't show it, and no matter how close you get, it always feels like there's a wall between you and them. Now, what it really comes down to is this. You'll recognize this pattern when a part of you feels like there's something real between you, but the way they act makes you wonder if you're just making the whole thing up. Now, before we dive into what's really behind their behavior and what you can do about it, there's something I have to tell you. Avoidants aren't heartless, even if it feels that way sometimes. In fact, many of them do care, but they just struggle to show it. And the truth is, they're protecting themselves from a threat that doesn't actually exist anymore. But I want you to understand this. Someone pulling away from you is not a sign to try harder, because love isn't supposed to feel like you're always trying to prove your worth staying for. Now, if you're struggling with that and everything they do sends you into a spiral, then grab my no contact survival kit, because it will help you feel better without needing them to respond to you. Right now, though, let's dive into the story and the psychology of why someone can act like they care and then go completely cold. Because understanding the story behind their behavior will completely change how you see yourself in this situation. So let me walk you through this key piece of our Avoidant X cheat sheet and explain why they can just vanish like that. Imagine yourself in the shoes of a young child, maybe 2, maybe 3 years old. You fall, you cry, you reach out, but the person you love doesn't come. Or they do, with tension in their eyes or anger in their voice. But you're hurting, so you try again. A soft cry, a tiny hand tugging at a sleeve, and again, the comfort you need, the person you want, is nowhere to be found. Or if they do come, it feels cold, detached, distant. Day after day, you look for love, safety, comfort, but nothing changes. They're close by, but you're very much alone. That's just how it is. And little by little, something inside of you starts to shift. You stop reaching, you stop expecting, and deep in your mind, a lesson is learned. Needing people gets you hurt. So you'll take care of yourself. Now, this wasn't a conscious decision. It's just how the world is. And you need protection. You're a child doing what you must to feel safe. And so the wall begins to form. A wall that protects you. A wall that keeps everyone out. And as the years pass and the time goes by, the child grows up, never letting anyone get too close, but still wanting to feel love. Now, one day, someone does get close, and that old alarm, the one they don't even realize is still there, goes off. Because their body remembers, the young child remembers, their subconscious remembers that needing someone means getting hurt. So while you're feeling this bond grow between you, they're feeling trapped. You open up, they go quiet. You move close, they pull away. Not to hurt you, but to survive. That's how the story goes. This is the blueprint and your cheat sheet. They get close, they feel overwhelmed. They feel overwhelmed, they pull away. They pull away, they feel lonely. They feel lonely, they return. They return and they repeat the pattern all over again. And if you don't know this pattern, it will make you question everything. You'll wonder why it felt so real and so confusing. You'll wonder what you did wrong. You'll wonder if you imagined it all. But the one thing I want you to know is this. It isn't about you. It's not about your worth. It's not about how much you loved them. It's not about how much they loved you. It's about a wound that formed long before you ever met them. A wound that taught them love and danger are very hard to tell apart. Now, this story clearly maps out how a dismissive avoidant attachment style is formed. But it's worth noting that fearful avoidants grow from a slightly different kind of chaos. And while you're starting to piece this together, it's also worth noticing that there are differences between how dismissive and fearful avoidants behave. So if you're ready to understand those differences more clearly, you can go ahead and watch this video here and just let your mind keep connecting the dots. But right now, for your avoidant ex cheat sheet, it's just important to understand this. When it feels like the connection you have is growing stronger, both the dismissive avoidant and the fearful avoidant will pull away. But while the dismissive pulls away to feel in control, the fearful pulls away to avoid being broken. Think of it like this. The dismissive builds a wall and locks the gate. They don't want to let you in. The fearful opens the door, but stands there shaking, ready to slam it shut the second they sense danger. So now you understand what's really happening and why, and maybe you're thinking, okay, this all makes sense, but I still want to text them. Or maybe you just want to stop spiraling and start feeling like yourself again. So I'm going to give you 3 strategies that are backed by research and will help you stay calm when they pull away without feeling like you're giving up. But before I do that, here's what you can do right now. Grab the No Contact Survival Kit while you're thinking about it, because these strategies I'm about to share work best when you have this day-by-day support system in place. Now, here's your 3-step action plan. This is what you can do right now to feel loved, chosen, and emotionally safe without having to beg for it. Step 1, stop chasing. Here's what happens every time you chase them. You actually confirm their deepest fear that relationships are suffocating. I'm laying this out plainly. If you're chasing them for closure, it won't come. If you're chasing them for reassurance, it won't happen. If you're chasing them to prove how much you care, you're only going to feel more anxious and more disconnected. The critical thing to understand here is this. The real pain comes from trying to prove you're worthy of being loved. By doing all the work, by trying to fix things, by always reaching out, you're just pushing them farther away and hurting yourself even more. Now, for things to actually change, you have to risk losing the relationship so you can stop losing yourself. And that means holding boundaries even when it hurts. Step 2, limit contact and set those boundaries. Now, I want to be really clear. This is not about punishing them. This is not about playing games. This is not about tricking them into coming back. This is about getting clear on what you want, getting clear on what you need, and getting clear on what you're willing to accept in a relationship. And you're going to do just that in no contact. This is how you stop spiraling out of control, start feeling like yourself again, and finally stop being the only one trying to make it work. Now, this isn't just for you, it's also for them. And the reason I say that is because no contact is the one thing that allows your ex to stop pulling away and realize what it's like when you're really gone. Let me say that another way. It's your absence that makes them face what they lost, not your chasing. Step 3, Stop focusing on them. Turn all of your awareness inward on what's really going on. Begin to practice self-compassion, because the most powerful shift is when you start to realize what you want from them is something you must first give yourself. Safety, love, and trust that your needs are valid. So be kind to yourself. You're not weak for missing them. You're not crazy for wanting them to care. You're human, and beating yourself up for it will not help. Now here's what to do right away to get started. Download the No Contact Survival Kit and give yourself 30 days minimum. No checking their social media, no driving by their work, no accidental run-ins. Give yourself time to recalibrate and give them the gift of your absence. So remember, stop chasing, limit contact and set boundaries, and be kind to yourself. And if it still feels like what you had really meant something, and part of you still believes they have to come back, then you'll want to watch this next video, the 3 stages of an avoidant coming back and what makes them stay.